Hello and welcome to the Pulp. What's the juice, Donnie?
Today we're going to be talking about technology and all juicy things related to technology, even though I think you should keep your juice away from technology. Just saying.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. And as you guys can hear, my voice sounds kind of trash right now because just getting over a little cold. And today we have a very special guest. One of the mic boys are hopping on the mic, finally.
I have no idea why I'm here.
For those of you who don't know, that is Ali.
Hello.
One of our audio guys. He's the best of the best, other than Gabe,
We were
who's
desperate, so I'm here now.
equally the best of the best. Yeah, we kind of ran out of people, so he's our new guest. All right, what are we starting off with?
Well, I mean, I feel like a big thing that just happened in the technology world is Samsung's presentation that they had, what was that, yesterday, 2 days ago, as of recording this, where they announced the S10 and the new Galaxy Fold, which is really expensive, but a cool concept.
Is it the first foldable phone of all time?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the first foldable phone.
Snap your phone in your pocket. Hey, it survived.
There's never been another foldable phone.
But what about my Nokia?
No,
Nokia
there's
stuff's
never
a bullet. It doesn't
there's
fold.
never been
The
another
bullet folds
foldable
on it.
phone. Not a flip phone, nothing like that. Never not even those BlackBerry slides count.
No,
Okay? Nothing
nothing.
counts.
Hold on, I
Nothing
have a
counts.
pressing question though. Can we make a tank out of Nokias for Cass? Can we do
Wait.
this?
Maybe.
A tank out of Nokia's.
Yes.
Dude, yes.
Thing would be able to survive
We have to send an
anything.
episode to Saran. So Saran, if you're listening, can we do that? You know?
Yeah, hook us up with some
Anyway,
That the
moving
sound
on.
guy is still trying to work on background stuff during an episode.
Yeah, I am.
What's
It's-
Anyway,
Disregard.
So the biggest thing with Donnie, bringing up these new phones that are coming out, like with the S10, is like just the jump and the technology that we can see there. Like right now, I have an S9, it's the phone before the S10 or whatever, and it has 64 gigabytes of space. But like the news that I've heard so far, anyway, the S10 is gonna have a terabyte of space. And for those of you who don't know, that's 1,000 gigabytes, which is a pretty big leap, especially because before that the generations were only doubling in space. So for example, the S8 had around 32 gigabytes.
Well, I mean, that's a trend with SD cards, too. Like, you can go on Amazon and find really large SD cards for, like, cheap. You can find, like, 32 gigabyte SD cards for $11. You can probably get a terabyte for $50.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing, though, is at least with phones, is like just that jump in space. Like it's so drastic and it's so unexpected, because like we haven't really seen anything like that inside the phone industry yet. I think it's just a jump in technology that's honestly just insanely rapid.
I'm cheap, so I'm gonna just keep buying 16 gigabyte phones.
16 gigabyte.
That's
phone?
what I have right now.
How do you
Yeah,
live with a
16
16 gigabyte phone?
I don't. It's a horrible experience.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Sounds
Ollie,
terrible. It
upgrade.
sounds like you have to back up everything.
My phone yells at me every 5 seconds. Saying, you're low on space, and my iCloud's low on space.
iCloud is always low in space.
Apple's trash.
Has anyone noticed that? Like iCloud,
Debate.
it's always.
I used to have, like, a ton of space on my iCloud, and then I started taking, like, a whole bunch of pictures, and then no more space in iCloud. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you know
don't
why? Because Apple's trash.
Apple's not trash.
Samsung is far. Okay, fine. Apple isn't trash. However, Samsung is far superior.
Well, I mean,
Androids are far
That's
superior.
opinionated.
It's not opinionated. It's factual. The operating system in an Android is far superior to that in an Apple.
I think
Since
it
when?
depends on what you're looking for.
I think if you're looking for simple and easy, yeah, sure, get your Apple. But I think if you're looking for, quality,
I mean, you say
Android.
quality, but you also run into a lot more errors on
I prefer
Android.
the finest of Chinese products. Thank you very
on
much.
what grounds, you Apple user?
You've complained several times about your phone like bugging out and doing really weird things.
Example.
Let's see. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mentioned that a phone had a bug, and that for some reason makes Apple better than Android. Excuse me, but that is a common issue found in all phones.
Yeah, fair enough, but still. I don't know. I'll stick to my
Yes,
iPhone.
I love how much you counteracted what I actually said makes Android superior.
You-
I'm just
okay.
saying.
No, you can have Android, and everyone else can have iOS. I'm gonna stick with Windows Phone. Done.
Oh,
man,
God.
That's
and
an
also
old
MacBooks
reference.
trash. You can't debate that.
Okay, what about PS4 versus Xbox?
Xbox superior.
I like Xbox.
Heck, what the heck is wrong with you people?
Actually, I like PC more.
What?
No,
Mm.
get out of here. We're
Yeah.
talking about consoles here. You PC master
A
race
few
trash.
seconds of thinking, realizing
Yeah.
what he said.
But I mean, if
like,
you
wait a
think
minute.
about it, like PCs just have infinitely more things that you can do on them because they're built to do more.
if you can afford it. A
Yeah.
console is a box, and you get everything that you need right then and there. A PC, you can get a whole PC, and it's still not good enough to do what you want. At least when you're getting a console, you're getting everything to do what you want to do.
Well, you're getting just gaming.
In general.
In general, yeah. Some games aren't optimized for Xbox, and some games aren't optimized for PS4.
Yeah.
That's bad on both.
Well,
of
I
them.
mean,
It's
if
concerning when they're only made for that console. And
Yeah, and then they're not
still
optimized,
optimized.
optimized for well, and it sucks.
That's the nerd stuff. We have a very vast audience
Mm-hmm.
that is not full of just nerds.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Probably like
not
3
not
people
everyone needs
listening.
like 90 frames a
I
second like
the
some of us.
analytics.
Not everyone knows what frames are.
But I like PS4 better. I mean, it's
second
the exclusives, man. The exclusives are
Okay,
so good.
that's not fair though.
The
They're
exclusives are so
exclusive.
good.
You don't just make
Exclusives
good
don't make
excuses to make
sense.
your console better. That's bull. That's cheating.
Have you seen how God of War looks? It's beautiful. It's heckin' beautiful.
But could you imagine if God of War was like cross-platform?
How about we say this? PS4 has a specific set of games, and Xbox has racing games. Can we say that?
You can hook an Xbox
kind of.
controller. to
PlayStation
UAV.
racing games are inferior. I've understood that. There's no good one that is exclusively PlayStation. Forza,
Forza is
Pretty
great.
good.
pretty great.
You can
Okay,
have
but like
some-
actually, not just talking about games. Like, what are the benefits to like PlayStation over Xbox? Because I'm be real here. And in this argument, I will admit I'm just entirely biased. Like, I actually have no facts in the Xbox versus PlayStation argument. It's 100% biased. So what are the advantages?
I feel like it's just preference, really.
Yeah, I think it is. Just
Whatever your
preference.
friends play the most.
I enjoy the OS of PlayStation. It's really nice. It's smooth. I like the way it looks, the way it feels.
Realistically, Xbox would be better because they're more lenient on crossplay and all that. PS4 is
That's
more
true. Sony's a stricter
drop kick you
company,
over that.
but I mean, like, Sony's got more experience and stuff. They should have better quality. I say should. They don't. That's pretty much equal. They should have better quality since they have experience with televisions and like smaller console-based objects rather than the computer-based things. I mean, I feel like Xbox should run specific things nicer and PlayStation should run specifically nicer, but like specs are pretty much the same on both. They're just trying to compete, which is market-based stuff, economics-based, where they just want to sell the best. So they make them pretty much equal so that they can sell equal prices.
That's pretty fair.
Competition to
And
build a better product.
I remember recently hearing that Xbox was saying they want to try to make more exclusives. So hey, if they drop any more exclusives, we'll see how
They're gonna be
the war
garbage.
goes.
Well, hopefully they won't
Wow. Halo.
Halo's dead. Halo died. Halo killed itself.
You know it didn't. Halo's great.
See,
Anyone hear about Halo 5? No,
Yeah,
exactly.
I pre-ordered it.
And did you play it a lot?
Yeah, for about a period of time.
A period of time.
Sounded
An
very
unlisted
uncertain
period of
there.
time. Yeah, Halo 5 was garbage.
Halo
And
5
the latest
was
Gears of War,
decent.
latest Gears of War was pretty garbage too. So
So-
Grand Theft Auto 5 is a fun game.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was on both.
Here's what's not fair. All the good games, the greatest games, are on both consoles.
That's
And
not true.
PlayStation just makes really good exclusives, but it's not fair. I just want to play Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is so
I just want to
good.
play Spider-Man.
I think a solution to this argument might be buying a PC and a PlayStation, because if you have a PC, then you can get the Xbox exclusives through the garbage Microsoft store. But you
You
have
still
them.
get them.
So I have a PC. I can play Forza. Granted, if it works, because it, for some odd reason, requires a supercomputer to run it. It barely works, but it works. But then you
Omar,
could...
imagine using the supercomputer at Poly to run Forza.
Yes.
You'd have to.
Oh
It's
god.
the only way it works. But like you could then have a PlayStation, get the PlayStation exclusives, Xbox exclusives, and have the benefit of a PC.
I think like the point you brought up about preference is pretty like good, because like I'm pretty sure some of you have heard by now. They're pretty popular game just came out, Apex Legends, and you know I started playing it basically since it came out, and then I actually started playing it on the PC just because I wasn't even sure if it was even out on console yet. I heard about it on PC first, so I just got it on PC, and I've been playing it there. And funny enough, like I was honestly relatively bad at the game, and I could not figure out why until I got a USB. I plugged my Xbox controller into the computer, And Xbox is what I've been used to for almost since I was a child because my mother is a gamer. So basically, I was like birthed into a house with gaming consoles in it. And so, I played with this Xbox controller, and all of a sudden, I just started doing like amazingly well, and I significantly improved. Not because I played the game for an extended period of time, but simply because I just switched to something that I'm used to. So obviously, it's gonna feel more comfortable, and it was just a better experience for me.
I mean, yeah, makes sense. But I think we can all agree Nintendo and Smash Bros. Is where it's at.
I don't know,
Right.
man.
The only
PlayStation
Nintendo product I've ever owned is the Wii. And that's it.
The Wii was great.
I'm thinking about it. Like PlayStation's exclusives were a lot bigger than they get credit for most of the time. I mean, we've got God of War, you've got Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
yeah, Spider-Man, and Last of Us, which is a giant series. Beyond Two Souls, I haven't heard of that one.
Beyond Two Souls is actually like amazing. That game was so good to me that I actually just watched an entire. I couldn't play it because I'm Xbox, but I actually like just watched an entire playthrough of it, and I gotta admit that game is just amazing.
Okay, what else should we talk about? We should talk about video game development. Why the heck is Elder Scrolls 6 taking 18 years?
I think not even that. Just adventure games themselves, they're far and few apart lately.
I think that's because they're becoming more ambitious with them. Like they want them to be the next big thing, like great. Because like Witcher 3 and Skyrim just blew it out of the water. I mean, you had Witcher 3 and Skyrim come out at around a similar time, and then every game after that for the past few years has been, well, it doesn't compare well to those two. And it's kind of, they have such great games that it's kind of hard to compare everything else to those two games.
That's definitely more like optimistic outlook that I've heard because in that debate, because I've actually been hearing more things like most companies are just trying to capitalize on whatever the best formula is right now. And like in the case of like, today, that's just Battle Royale. Every company just trying to make a Battle Royale to try to capitalize as opposed to making these adventure games, the long games that take time and effort that we used to, that we, know and love.
Yeah, that makes sense too because, I mean, like EA is always after the formula.
Yeah.
They want EA is like the plankton of the bikini bottom. It's like they're searching for it, and like it's like, it feels like the Krusty Krab gets owned by a bunch of indie guys. Like it's just passed down to a bunch of different indie companies that just come out with something great, and then everyone gets wrecked. Like the big companies just feel like they want money now, and that's I feel like the market for video games is just bad.
Yeah, and I think that's a very interesting point considering like just Fortnite. It got really big, really fast, and that it was made by Epic Games. A company that, in my opinion, I don't feel like Canada's a big company and wasn't even heard a lot about. Boom, it makes this game and it blows up. And granted, that's a battle royale game, but like it's kind of one of the games. There's multiple that help the genre take off. And then now we have Apex, and while it is a battle royale, so many battle royale clones have come out since Fortnite became popular, and none of them have caught traction as fast as Apex has. And I find that interesting because Apex is made by Respawn, another company that is nowhere near as big, but yet they make this game and it just blows up. And I just find that funny because you were talking about how like big companies just care about money now, and how the small companies are passing down the Krusty Krab, as you said.
Well, yeah, it's like produced by EA, but that's not the only reason.
Well, the thing is like, I get you're saying there, but the thing is like EA just recently bought Respawn. Respawn is still Respawn. EA like basically just bought out Respawn. It's still Respawn, in my opinion.
And I feel like some other things that you could bring up is the past of the game. It's loosely based off of the Titanfall universe. So like you could still, well, I wouldn't say loosely. It's pretty well based on the Titanfall universe. So it's got history and it's got like a fan base. It would have had a fan base no matter what. I mean, they didn't really put it on your face that it was Titanfall, but
I didn't even know it was Titanfall. Never played Titanfall, so I had no idea.
Apex.
That's part of my point. Respawn made Titanfall, and if you ever play Titanfalls, they are honestly great games. I mean, they introduce some normal mechanics, and they have the same formula. It's just another FPS, but it's not just another FPS. When you play Titanfall, it feels like it's its own game. I mean, if you ever play Call of Duty or Battlefield, every other FPS you play will almost feel like something that's a clone to them, or something that mimics their formula with slight adjustments. But Titanfall, it feels like it could be a third option for FPS. It just feels like it brings its own formula and something new to the entire genre. So, when they turn around and make something like Apex and they catch its traction, I feel like it brings attention to a company who makes pretty solid games, and they kind of deserve the attention.
This went from technology to games.
Yeah, I think it's about video games now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Technology in general. I mean, the industry is pretty similar.
Yeah. What about like Platformers.
VR battle royale.
VR battle royale would be terrifying. VR. Actually, let's talk about VR for a quick second. VR is strange right now. Like I've seen, like if you guys ever watch videos about VR, it's still in like a strange area. They're doing body tracking now, which is
They have
a strange one. They have cameras that track your body and see you whenever you get on the. Oh god, yeah. Whenever you get in weird poses, they know.
That's very disturbing.
They
Yeah.
have a smell thing also. They have a smell thing, something like a treadmill you can walk on to track your movement, and
Well,
there was
isn't
something
that
else.
wouldn't that be like the future of games? Like if you think about it, kind of
I
like
don't know.
a far distant future.
Okay, what would you guys prefer? Like VR or like okay, there's like three main options. VR, AR, and like kind of like a dream thing. Like that one sounds like terrible, but like basically where it's VR, virtual reality, where you look inside something and you see a different place, so you just stand in one area. AR, augmented reality, where you see both the real world and the fake world
What
mixed.
Pokemon Go did.
And then like the dreamscape thing I was talking about is where like basically the Matrix. They plug in a thing and you go to sleep and I wouldn't say you're dead, but
If I
like,
had a preference, I would definitely say the dream thing sounds definitely the coolest and something I'd probably try to spend a lot of time with. But in terms of other than just cool, just like practicality, I actually think I'd give the edge to AR.
oh whoa,
That's just my opinion.
I was thinking VR because like if I think like far distant VR, I think like Ready Player One and like how advanced those systems are.
But
in
I
that
feel like
world.
in the real world, something like Ready Player One would actually have to be the dream thing.
Yeah,
it would
it'd
have
have
to be
to be
executed
Dreamscape.
the dream way.
which is why I disliked the movie. In the book, it felt more like Dreamscape. They didn't really specifically say that it was VR. Like I'm pretty sure they specifically they might have said virtual reality, but it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like he was saying he was restricted by the box that he was in, the RV. Like it feels weird when they say that.
Well, because like
I guess it was just that advanced of a VR system, maybe. I mean, the software felt great. I don't
mean,
know. It's a good read, not a good movie. I wouldn't say
Honestly,
the movie's that
actually,
great.
like the topic we brought up at the beginning of this episode. That's just technology is advancing pretty quickly, and now that we have this, this you said that, we have this simple VR and it's growing and adapting. Things like the Dreamscape thing, things like the World and Play Ready Player One, can be things that are like honestly in the near future at the way that things are progressing currently.
honestly, like if you think about it, like VR went from a simple headset that's low quality to like high resolution, the Oculus or HTC Vive, like all those like different like controllers. It changed like rapidly in a course of like 2-3 years. It used to be super exclusive. Not a lot of computers could actually run it. Now you can buy a simple laptop that can play just about any VR game.
I wouldn't
So-
go that far.
Well, not any VR game, but be able to play some VR and explore in it.
I think the market repeats itself in consoles and VR and stuff like that. Basically, what happens is something new comes out. You get about 6 years in, they start getting to they're pushing it to its max. You're getting to the end, and you're not really getting quality games because it feels like there's this absence period where everyone's preparing for the next console instead of working on games for this console. So you don't really get those high name brands, and it's just this
It's just
absent time.
burnout.
Yeah, it's burnout time. You basically get the same quality games you did 2 years ago because they can't push the limits any more than they used to. So you have to wait for the next console, and no game developers are working on the PlayStation because now they have access to the PlayStation next generation or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't think since we're like kind of going on with this thing, what do you guys think could be like the next big genre? Because right now it's the era of the BR, and I think maybe before that could have been kind of action adventure, and before that probably FPS. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds
would
like
agree
okay.
with
Let's
that.
say mid 2000s was FPS, then 2010s was fantasy.
Your action adventures.
Yeah, your action adventures, stuff like that. Anything like in that realm. Your RPGs.
Yeah.
RPGs.
That's pretty fair.
And then, well, actually, mid 2000s was FPS. Early 2000s was MMOs.
Oh yeah. For sure.
2010s.
Jenkins.
2010s was definitely the RPGs. We'll say the 2015s and beyond is BR. That's a little early to say it, but like
Yeah, I
this
think-
5 years, I think we should segment it this 5 years. It has been BR. There hasn't been anything else really big in the market.
Well, Witcher 3 came out, what, 2016, right? No?
Witcher 3 came out early.
Really?
Yeah.
Around the same time as Skyrim, which was 2011. I think
For
Witcher
real?
came out in 2012 or 2013.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
thought it
old.
was later than that.
It came out on PlayStation 3. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's Witcher 2. I think you're thinking of.
Am I?
No, because Witcher 3 came out on Xbox One.
Really?
Yeah.
So did Skyrim, though.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. There's a remaster. There's a Witcher.
Oh, you were talking about the
Okay,
remaster.
May
Okay,
19th, 2015. So
2015.
Yeah.
2015. Yeah, but I mean,
That's still pretty old.
I wouldn't say Witcher
I would
was
say
that big.
BR, maybe 2017.
Well, Witcher was like, okay, when The Witcher 3 came out, it was like praised as the best like RPG game ever made.
And it's like, but it was like it's the dead end. It's like the end.
Yeah.
It is the end of a generation.
It was
it's,
the best that it could be.
It's kind of like when a celebrity dies. It's the end of a generation. Of course, it's going to be the best. When a celebrity dies, their music's praised as amazing. I feel like there's nothing much that could have progressed afterwards, anyways. So you can't really. I guess it's the best, but you can't really say it's the best forever just because nothing came afterwards.
That's fair.
enough.
BR would say 2015 beyond, like past 2015. I'd say BR. So we're talking 2020 and beyond. That's the next generation of consoles. That is the PlayStation 5s, Xbox 2s.
Xbox 2s.
I'm honestly thinking that whatever the genre is that takes over, it will be competitive. Because I don't know why, but I feel
Everything's
like
shifting to online.
Yeah.
pretty
maybe yeah. I just feel like it's just competitive. Because like I said, but before the action adventure, there was FPS. And competitive and like. I feel like, I don't know, there's something about competitiveness that brings people together in a weird way. Because even those who aren't competitive in the game itself, they watch it. They enjoy watching the competitiveness. So I feel like whatever comes next will be competitive.
There might now this might sound odd, but there might be like a area for like MMOs again, because if you think about battle royales, they're like this big online 100 person 60 whatever it is against
Oh my
each other.
God, you're so right. That just reminds me, like, I watched this one video of this guy, and he was talking about what he wants from games now. He wants, he's like talking about how like BRs, they're fun, but he wants these huge games. He wants basically kind of like wars, like 200 versus 200 player wars where you can get vehicles and basically almost have like a war simulation in a game. And I feel like if we get the technology, especially with the next gen coming, that
alarm.
might be a
Disregard.
reality, and that's something that could
Thank you, Lauren.
be dope, honestly.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay, so rebirth of MMOs, that would make sense. I mean, the market's been kind of dead for MMOs just because it's been pay to play, pay to win kind of thing. But that's only because they've been the latest MMOs are still World of Warcraft 3.
Diablo
There's
3.
Diablo
PlanetSide
3. Like,
that
there's
I
one up and
played.
coming right now called
PlanetSide was pretty good for a while, but it didn't run well. It was a beautiful game. It was good when it started, but it didn't run as well as it should have.
PlanetSide 2 runs
I
a
mean, there's a new
little better now,
MMO
but
rising right now though called
not the best.
Path of Exile. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like getting out of that pattern. Yeah, I
Oh,
get it.
wait. That's right.
I'm just
PlanetSide's
kidding.
coming out with a PlanetSide Arena, which is cross between MMO and
In
Battle
BR,
Royale.
yeah. Okay, but like,
It's gonna be a nightmare.
I think, just to finish up, I think we will head into MMOs, but they need to break the pattern. The pattern of MMOs has always been the same. Just because MMOs seem like you pay, you get stuff, you get the gems or whatever it is, and it's always the same kind of gameplay. What if we did something like Omari was talking about? It just means a massive multiplayer online game. That's it. That's all it has to be. It can be anything, any theme, any setting. It can be anything, just online. And I mean, I feel like No Man's Sky would have been the first step into that if it had succeeded. That's all I have.
Yeah. So
They crashed and
honestly, with that, I would just maybe the next upcoming thing, the rebirth of MMO, but with emphasis on massive.
Yeah,
Massive.
and less pay to win, and maybe like a shift for developers to be doing these free games, but then having them pay for skins or whatever it may be.
Something
Because
that's not necessary to gameplay.
yeah, because that's what you see a lot now. Fortnite did it. Apex does it, I think.
Yeah, and it's pretty good because it
yeah.
feels good to achieve stuff. Like in Apex, you can actually get the characters without having to buy them, and it feels good to earn them instead of buy them. And it's pretty great.
And then there are some people that will drop several $100s into the game because it's something that they care about. So, I mean, there's that realm for developers to be able to make these free games because people are investing more in cosmetics and gameplay.
That's actually interesting. You have any final notes there, Ali?
I still have no idea why I'm here.
We'll keep you behind like from now on then. Well, anyway, with that said, that'll wrap up today's little topic. Today's recording was kind of like a kumquat, tiny but still juicy. And I hope you enjoyed.
A kumquat, gross. Who eats kumquats? All right, see ya.
See you guys.
See ya.